everyone. It is 11 p.m. and it is now time to talk about Nintendo.
Nintendo
had a great E3, I think. Nintendo, a lot of people ahead of E3 is just like, they have nothing to show. They're not even having a press conference, and I think had a great presence.
Stupid video again.
Yeah. And I feel like they ended up doing a great job and getting a ton of attention.
The change in quality from last year to this year and almost everything they did was amazing. Okay, they need to work on the name digital event. They have a habit of making really generic terms.
Yeah.
But despite the name, the change in quality from last year's E3 Nintendo Direct, which was a disaster trying to watch it, and there was some good stuff in it, but it was just very generic. It's the best word to describe it.
It was a normal Direct,
and then this one starts off with Robot Chicken, sketch. Sorry, Kyle doesn't like skit.
Those are, I don't know. They call them sketch. Robot Chicken calls them sketches, and it's like, you guys are doing skits.
Okay. You're the authority. And then they went right into that amazing Iwata versus Reggie, like live action battle.
Straight into it.
For the beginning of Smash.
Let's get started. Here's this dead serious Iwata fighting Reggie.
I was just like, what? Whoa.
This is gonna be great. You knew it was gonna be great from that moment.
I was like, all right, what is this for? Is this for Smash, or this is like some cool like opening that we're doing?
Yeah.
And then the Miis, playable Miis.
Yeah, playable Miis.
So that was all great. I didn't get to see any of it live, but the live streaming they were doing from the show floor apparently was amazing. Like 30 to 40 minutes of gameplay demos and commentary from the Treehouse Live. Apparently that all the feedback on GAF on other sites was just that needs to be the future for other game companies. Like they need to do that.
So to explain that to anyone who's not familiar, Treehouse is basically Nintendo of America, the people who are translating these games for the most part.
It's their code name for their localization department.
Exactly, yeah. And so they've been doing live streams all day, various bunches of them showing off these games like Hyrule Warriors, just 45-minute demo of Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Yep.
Really cool stuff, and they've been humorous and fun to watch, apparently. It sucks to not be able to watch it, to be honest.
But I mean, I went back and watched some of them, and they were pretty good.
Yeah.
So, and that's the stuff that you can't show off in a press conference either. You can't spend 40 minutes on a game.
You're right.
But at the same time, I think there's a little bit of worry that Nintendo was just going to show like, here's like a 5-minute gameplay demo. Cool. Here's the developer. Here's a few questions. Move on. Like we'll be back in an hour with another game. They went
in depth.
It was like back to back to back. Apparently, I hope that was correct.
Sure.
Of really long like gameplay demos.
Yeah.
And the developers were there too, talking about it. So vast improvement. We're getting a little too detailed. Everyone knows what happened already. It was really good.
Yeah.
And then they followed it up every night with the Smash Brothers Roundtable. Which all that's out there. The big reveal was Pac-Man.
Yep.
So now Smash Brothers has Pac-Man, Mega Man, Sonic, Mario, all in one game.
Yeah, that's pretty
cool. To which
I
still say they're still missing a Square character, so the Black Mage is going to be in there.
All those characters, maybe except for Sonic, existed in the 80s, though. So Black Mage existed in the 80s as well. What am I saying? Yeah.
So that was really cool. They showed off we saw more of the toys, the amiibos. Then we saw it tonight. Let's go over this because this is a little bit more relevant. This is what's being talked about was codename S.T.E.A.M.
This is what people are talking about?
Strike Team elimination? Eliminating the alien menace.
Yes, you got it. What I love,
and then the joke,
the creative director was like aware of how ridiculous that sounds. Is what I love. He's just like, what is that? Just mangling the English language. Yeah.
Yes,
so fun.
So that part was whatever. But the cool thing was they said, hey, Intelligent Systems is behind this game. So, and they wanted, we don't really have any third-person shooters at Nintendo anymore.
Right.
So we want a third-person shooter, but we also don't want to abandon our strategy roots at Intelligent Systems. So we're merging these two together. And he goes, this was the pitch in the meeting in 4 words. Steampunk Civil War.
Yeah.
And that was everybody started going bananas with ideas, apparently. And that is how we got codename S.T.E.A.M. And it is that one sentence description. He said it's an elite force assembled by Abraham Lincoln to fight aliens.
It's an alternate history kind of thing.
Yes, and it was very similar mechanically to real-time tactics games like It looked a little bit like XCOM, a little bit, because they're not doing the grid anymore.
I get that.
Well, they did
Camera-wise,
when he
it
did
looks a
when he
little
did
bit-
move, they did show like grid kind of spaces to like for like a guide.
yeah.
But general movement felt a little bit more open.
Definitely.
So that's why people were like, as soon as like one person asked a question like, this seems like Valkyria Chronicles.
It does.
Because I was watching when I was watching them play, like this seems like they got a little bit of an influence from Valkyria Chronicles. But they said there's gonna be more to the shooting mechanics than just. They're basically saying like Valkyria Chronicles on its back end is still an RPG. It's still dice rolling going
You're
on.
playing the map.
Like even if you line up for a headshot, there's still a dice roll where you might actually miss, depending on like the stats and what the RNG is.
Yeah. Well,
Whereas this, it's skill. It's like you line up the shot, you're hitting, it just how much damage it does. Or
I mean,
something.
he was down on Valkyria Chronicles. He said, like, basically,
yeah.
when you're playing that game, you're playing a map, and then the rest of the stuff is just a nice visual.
He
of
said
it.
it's still like it was still a very largely an overhead 2D
Yep.
strategy game. To which I didn't 100% agree with it, but that guy actually makes
Exactly.
games.
Yeah,
I just reviewed that game, so we're on a different level there. But
weird because it's a great game. But also, like, he was kind of bragging about how his game doesn't have a map. Basically, the way
Yeah.
you get the way you see this game is by having 4 characters maneuver around it and are scouting for you. And that's what I thought was actually interesting, is he defended it well. He's like, you don't need a map to see where things are because you have 4 characters who will go and scout each individual angle.
Yep. And speaking of characters, he was very clear that there's no permadeath in this game,
Oh yeah,
which is like a staple of Fire Emblem. If you play Fire Emblem,
He honestly ragged on Fire Emblem.
he said that that's a little too extreme, essentially.
He
which,
said we don't hate you like that or something like we aren't evil is what he said. We aren't that evil.
he was just poking. He was poking.
He was definitely
a little
poking.
hard.
Okay, come on, man. Fire Emblem's great because of permadeath.
But then he turned around and said like, "Oh, there's going to be quite a bit of characters in there. We'll talk more later about the
Honestly,
roster."
I think it's 12.
12.
The character select screen we saw had three rows of 3 and then 3 blank slots. I think there's going to be 12 characters in this game.
So
And they're all like unique cartoon characters.
yes,
Like one's a Native American girl, one's a lion, an actual lion.
Oh yeah, a lion. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
a lion.
One's like a kid.
And one named Fleming.
Yep. That's
Like
our main character.
the main character
the
so
blonde
far.
American with a gold eagle for his weapon.
Yeah, and there are a lot of airships floating around in London. It starts in London, but
Starts in London.
if you looked at the missions, if you got a quick glimpse, so there's no actual gameplay footage as of right now. There's screenshots out there.
Yeah.
In the mission select, they showed the White House, so you're gonna go to the White House. They mentioned Boston, so
You're
we're going to
globetrotting.
Boston.
You're globetrotting.
So you're gonna be going like you're defending the world from aliens, and then
Yeah.
they showed off one giant one called a Devastator, which threw like Big Ben, like
Yeah.
the giant clock in
Yeah,
London.
yeah.
It broke it off and just hurled it.
Yeah, it was
at an
serious.
airship. So that was that. I mean, it was nice that Nintendo was doing a new IP, but you could tell from the questions, people were like, where's Advance Wars? Where's Fire Emblem Cross Shin Megami Tensei? You know, the games you already have announced and said you're working on, and then you come out with this. Like, and is this holding up stuff?
No, this is great.
Yeah.
Making a new IP is great. Here's my issue. It's simple, the way that they deliver their story. They we're inspired by comic books. It's simpler than comic books. It's like straight up dumb. Here's how the dialogue goes.
Oh, gosh.
It's like, is there anyone attacking us? Yes, go. Okay, I'll be right there. It's like there's weird pauses in between everything. It's like a little unacceptable, I think, at this point.
It could have been placeholder stuff, but that was really rough.
It was so rough, and that's how they
And it was funny,
introduced it.
and then it came after they like started tossing out names like Jack Kirby and Bruce Tam. I'm like, and the like Silver Age of like comics. I was like, whoa, this is awesome. Like, I can't wait to see this. And then like they show it, I'm like, wait, no.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Like,
Good shooting, Hemming. Yeah, like what?
Yeah. There
Come
was
on.
a little disconnect there, but at least they know their history.
I guess. Yeah,
They're coming from a good place at least.
Yeah, and they defended the game itself. I think the game itself will turn out to be pretty fun.
Yeah, I just don't know how they said it's next year, 2015.
Yep.
So who knows how long they've been working on it, but maybe there's like they said they have more to show off and they're probably tweak stuff. Oh, and there's gonna be a bunch of multiplayer modes that they didn't talk about.
Multiplayer will not be online, but multiplayer will be online, is what we were told.
Yeah, there's
So I think there's some
answer.
sort of asynchronous thing, is what he meant
Street
by
passing.
that. Yep. So I want to talk actually about the Sakurai roundtable because I've never had more respect for that guy.
What about him? Like, why didn't you ever respect? What made you respect him more after seeing him in person at the round table?
He is like sharp and like he cares about his games.
Oh yeah.
He told us, like somebody asked a question. The question was, Yo, did you pick Gray Ninja because he was the most popular character in X and Y? And he went like this. That's a very sharp question. And then he says, basically, he started designing his Gray Ninja for Smash Bros. Before it was even done for X and Y. They had like little drawings for X and Y. And he said he was actually influential in the design of Gray Ninja for X and Y because he saw these drawings. He stayed up till midnight in the office working with his wireframe things and just figuring out how it could work as a Smash Brothers character. And then it got in. Like, they decided to put Gray Ninja in that game before X and Y came out. That was so crazy to me.
Yeah. I mean, that guy is dedicated to his stuff.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's also incredibly stubborn.
Oh, he said that. He openly said, I don't like being told what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, just real quick, just like Kid Icarus, the control scheme, like,
yeah,
whatever, that hurt him when he didn't cave in and decide to give at least one more control option.
Yep.
And then we'll see. Like, it sounded like he really didn't have much to do with Brawl's netcode, honestly, because that question did come up.
Yeah.
And he gave that technical answer and basically said, there are other people that kind of like working on it, but I want to make sure it's good.
Yeah.
But we're looking at Mario Kart 8, how they did it, and we want to like kind of build upon that.
No, he said we can't do that.
No, they need to.
Yeah, they can't though. Mario Kart 8 is so much simpler to do online than a 4-person fighting game, where every single frame matters.
Wrong.
And every
Okay.
Yeah, no, right.
The animation is more important, but look at the worlds they're rendering out for online play in Mario Kart. Those giant maps with all that detail. That's insane. With all the effects going on, no, that's ridiculous.
No, that's so much because every game is just doing it for themselves with like little updates that come from every other character.
Okay, maybe they don't have to load that data because it's local, and maybe I'm wrong on that, but I don't think it's that. For Smash Brothers, the only people who are... I don't understand how Brawl was in such a disastrous state with its online play.
Brawl was real bad.
Especially when there are other fighting games out there that have great netcode that they could have gone.
Yeah.
They would have helped Nintendo. They totally would have helped Nintendo if they were willing to ask for help. And if that's Sakurai's pride doing that, then you know what? Whatever. That's his fault for why the game's netcode sucked.
I don't think it's fair to blame Sakurai.
I don't know though. I don't know. He didn't answer it. He didn't really like say how it was really done, other than they had balance testers.
I think online is not important to him as a game designer. I definitely think that's not one of his priorities. One thing we learned is that Miis will not be playable online, which is funny.
I'm sure you're happy about that.
I am happy about it. I'm happy I won't have to run into like some gross Miis. You know what I mean? Just like, I made a gross face. You want to play against me?
Whatever.
Like, no. It makes me mad when I have to see their dumb faces in Mario Kart.
Well, it's gonna be great when I have Naruto fighting Sephiroth in there with my Miis.
Yeah, on your own. I'll never run into you online.
We're gonna hack and we're gonna go online with this, and it's gonna be glorious. For glorious.
I don't mind that. Sakurai's a really cool guy.
Like that guy, the work ethic that guy has, and the dedication to making the game that he wants to make.
Yeah,
that's the part everyone has to respect.
Yeah.
And honestly, while like you have gripes with one small thing of everything he's done, like his games are quality.
Yeah.
Like as of late, they've been quality.
Yeah.
And whether or not Brawl had shitty online, that's like whatever. The actual game itself, Subspace Emissary is another story, but the actual game itself. Competitive community might not have liked it, but it was still a fun game. Melee, amazing game. And this is, from what I've played of the new Smash Brothers, it feels better than Brawl, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's cool. I've not played any of it yet.
Oh, wow.
Those lines are too long.
No, they're not. There's like 4 people at a time. And there's like, you wait, they're doing 2-minute matches. The first match is
I don't have that patience.
It's for practice. So whatever for practice is the first match.
Yeah, I can't watch.
In which I won a lot of the first matches. Then the second match is the For Glory, the real match where you can win something.
No items too, yeah.
And then they have the final. They have items on for everything.
Okay.
And the final smash comes out like the 30-second marker in all these matches.
That's cool.
On the second match. And I kept losing all the second matches because it was like the serious time.
Yeah.
So I started picking the new characters for the first match, and then try and pick someone I kind of knew. So I picked Marth.
Yep.
And I was like, all right, I know how to play Marth.
Yep,
and some of this stuff was working. I was like, all right, this is good. Feels better than Brawl so far. But it's fun. And you've been using a GameCube controller, so it's cool.
Ken got rocked in the tournament with his Marth. And it's because they turned items on and he wasn't familiar with those, I feel like. And just like, it was insane. It was that tournament was kind of a little bit of sham. It was definitely fun to watch. But like it was kind of just like goofball town.
Yeah, it wasn't for serious competition.
Exactly,
It was more just for...
We didn't talk about that tournament. I think that was a good call. I think it was a really good idea that they had that tournament.
The turnout they had there was amazing. Like the line that they had out there, and then like Reggie apparently showed up as Fizamech.
Yeah.
He like cost no.
No,
he didn't.
No.
He didn't have the glasses and did like the walk.
On stage, no. Maybe...
No. Outside, like
did he
in
really
the line, like
do that?
he walked like Fizamech or something. There's like a vine of it out there.
That's
of
hilarious.
him doing it. So apparently he did that and got the crowd all rowdy and stuff. And then they went inside and had a good time apparently.
Yeah.
And Twitch was going nuts too. So.
It was cool. It was definitely a cool thing, and they said they might do more of that. Take the show on the road is what he said.
Take the show on the road.
Yeah, absolutely.
To Evo, maybe.
Yeah, give some people some time with the game.
Actually, go to the competitive community and do that.
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Sure.
What do you think about the Miyamoto stuff?
We've received a question from Ryan.
We have a viewer question from Ryan Stevens.
He wants to know what we think of
What
Miyamoto's
do you think of Project?
projects.
Is it Guardian or Guard? I forget.
Project Guard.
Project Guard, Project Giant Robot, and Star Fox something. Project Giant Robot looked goofy.
Yeah. You control it by kind of like stomping your Wii pad.
Yes.
Wii U pad.
That was watching it was kind of amusing, but did not look appealing. And it's clearly just like some kind of demo. It's all it is. It's not a game. It's a concept demo for something that he's probably working on. That's not the game. That cannot be the game. And Project Guard, the same thing. Project Guard was basically like you're at a base, I guess, and you have like multiple cameras, security cameras, and you're trying to stop the intruder, and you click the button corresponding to the camera, and then you attack them. And I was like, okay, was this like some kind of like focus testing? Like
frustratingly simple.
And then apparently Star Fox, from the reports, it was very rough looking.
They don't have Star Fox at E3, right?
Yeah, it was very apparently, unless it's behind closed doors that we haven't seen.
Right.
It was at a Sunday event before E3 actually.
Yeah,
when they got to see
Time.com gets to look at it. Oh, so jealous. Okay.
I know. They got to see it, and apparently the big hook for Star Fox is you're looking at two screens. There's the TV screen, and then there's the gamepad, and you saw in the pictures like Miyamoto was holding it up to do that, but apparently you can also use it to look at other parts, like an overhead view or something. It's like some weird. He wants you to be looking at both screens, like alternating, looking between them for like the experience.
Yeah, and in the digital event, he says he wants it to be exciting even for the people who aren't playing.
Yeah,
that was one thing he noted.
And he said it's gonna take a while it takes a little bit of time for people to get used to it, and that's gonna be the biggest hurdle for people to get used to playing on two screens. And I don't know. All these they said it's gonna become a full-fledged game. Who knows?
Yeah, within a year. They said, "Oh yeah, Star Fox will be done within a year." No, it won't. That won't be a game that comes out in a year.
No, it won't. It won't come out.
Oh my gosh. All three of those projects are the least exciting thing for me of the C3 from Nintendo. We have another question from Ryan.
Follow-up, do you think Nintendo is just like Miyamoto, make people want to actually use the gamepad?
So Ryan asked if Nintendo asked Miyamoto to make people want the gamepad. That was his mission. I think Miyamoto said, I'll make people like the gamepad. I have I'm so bitter about Miyamoto still. I think it's like, I have a bunch of great ideas. I'm an ideas man. Here's my ideas, everybody. Giant robot where you have to waggle the Wii U pad around. And everyone's just like, oh, yeah, fine. We'll put it up. We'll do it. Oh, my gosh. I'm so mad. I think it's a dumb idea.
Well, what I said, they needed to show people a reason to use the gamepad at E3. And then they're like, they were like, whoops. Uh-oh, it's E3 time. Oh, we have Smash. We got this new Zelda.
Yeah.
We got Bayonetta 2. We actually got a release date finally for that.
Kirby. Kirby does more to prove the use of
We got Devil's Third exclusive. Like, look at all these games. Oops. The gamepad.
Yeah.
I forgot about it. All right, well, Kirby uses it.
Yeah, Kirby does more to prove use of the gamepad than any of those Miyamoto projects.
And and as I said in other places, that is the best Sonic game in years.
Kirby?
Yes.
What's funny is they're not even calling it. They're calling it only Kirby right now.
It's called Kirby and the Rainbow Curse.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kirby and the Rainbow Curse.
All right, that's a legit
game. And
it's claymation.
You draw rainbow Twizzlers.
Yeah, it's so
good. And
then
Kirby eats them, nom 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 nom, and then goes Sonic the Hedgehog. Like
he does not eat them.
You tap on him, and he goes.
You can turn into a tank.
You make like loop-de-loops, and you go up.
Good. It's so good.
It's basically better Sonic than Sonic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's better Nintendo than Miyamoto.
Yoshi was Yoshi.
I'm trolling hard at this point.
Yoshi was Yoshi, but
so
looked
actually,
nice.
I want to roll back. I think that controlling a giant robot like this could be interesting. It does not demo well.
I think that's like an arcade game.
Yeah, well, I'd rather have two. I'd always rather have this tactile thing that I can touch. You know what I mean? Even when we're talking about Kinect, you know what I mean? This doesn't interest me in terms of
You're a
controls.
genius, Kyle.
What?
They're gonna make a new Rob.
When, wait, that I can just like push? What do you want the Rob for? Dude?
Rob, it's gonna be interactive and stuff like that. So you could like, that's gonna be the
No,
robot.
dude. What I want.
No more gamepad. Rob amiibo coming. I mean,
want
sorry,
two
Rob
handles at my
Obima.
sides.
Rob Obima.
I want like a Gundam. I want one handle here, one handle here, and I just want to be like, God! I want like the force feedback on that kind
All
of
right,
thing.
so we got a solution. We'll get the Gundam game.
Yeah.
Miyamoto's working on Gundam Cross Evangelion.
Sure.
Isn't that Hyrule Warriors?
And there's
Hyrule Warriors.
and there's amiibos for those.
And there's amiibos for those too.
Hyrule Warriors showed great. It
Yeah.
really showed up in E3.
By the way, there's a rumor going around that Anuma said that it's not like canon or something. Don't believe that. It's actually Hyrule Warriors it is the Zelda timeline, the game. It is Zelda timeline, the game, condensed into one. You know what was great? He actually answered Game Informer's question about where does it fit in the timeline. Goes, you could say there is a canon. That's how he started the answer, like basically saying you could say there's a canon, like to the Zelda series.
Then how did he finish
like
that
after
sentence?
like not Hyrule Warriors, Hyrule Historia came out? They're like, there might still be a canon. We don't know anymore.
Yeah.
And then he said, like, we're thinking of it like an alternate dimension. Like Majora's Mask could kind of fit in that category, but it's a little bit more important to the story. So it's actually part of the official timeline. This is an alternate reality. It's not part of the main timeline.
That means non-canon. That's
Okay, I gotta rove this one in. We got about a minute. Any final Nintendo thoughts?
awesome that Bayonetta 1 is coming with Bayonetta 2.
that was a big deal.
With,
That's a
with
huge deal.
with Nintendo outfits. Maybe they'll reverse the decision about eShop people not being able to get a digital copy of it. But otherwise, that's still awesome. I did mention like Yarn Yoshi. It looks nice.
Yeah.
It probably is going to be way better than that crappy 3DS one that came out.
Splatoon, there's already a whole thing on, but I'm
Watch the
super in
Splatoon
support of
thing.
Splatoon.
What are we fan? We didn't really talk about 3DS Smash, but I think we need more with that. Like, there's a lot of stuff behind that. That's like its own like future episode.
And Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire remakes, they're gonna be great.
Yeah,
You
Nintendo's
know
gonna do a direct for those at some point. Like they were just like showing a video of that. It wasn't even playable.
Good
But-
job at E3, Nintendo.
Yep.